Mr. Snyder, are you here? No, I haven't started the Zoom yet.
Recording in progress.
How did you become a scout? Technically, I'm an educator. I just teach people. Hello, Mr. Snyder?
Just 1 second. How are you today?
I'm good. Take your time. No rush.
Got to get the audio up.
All good.
Hi, my name's Tom. This is Riley. Try to get the camera set for you. We'll see you a little better.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping on the call today. I'm really excited to talk to you, and I really appreciate you bringing your daughter so I could talk to her too. And just before we begin, could I ask who found me first?
I did. I've in the evenings kind of just surf Instagram, watch TV, and we watch a lot of soccer videos, obviously. And I don't know exactly how I came across it. I think I just saw one of your posts of like a highlight or something.
Cool.
And then I thought, well, that's a lot like her. Actually, I think so. I was like, that's a lot like one of her recent goals. And I think I fired you off a little video, like, check out this 11-year-old.
I remember that. And let me ask your daughter, what did your father tell you about me before today?
He said you were you recruit players for D1 college.
Helps recruit
people for D1 college.
Very well said. I've been bribing your father, of course, to say good things. So if it's okay with you guys, I kind of want to talk about your guys' situation, but also talk about the goal for today. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So
we're just here to learn it right now and see what the future holds. Obviously, a lot of assumptions. We're talking about this with an 11-year-old, but
very true. Very true. So let's touch on that, right? You're 11, Riley. And one of the things is I work mostly with high school kids to help them play college soccer. And I keep running into this problem with almost all my high school kids, which is they didn't take the necessary steps at a younger age to either be good enough soccer ability-wise or to be in the right place to get recruited by schools that now they've decided they want to go to. So on today's call, I'm actually going to try and do three things. One, I'd like you both, including you, Riley, to interview me and ask me some questions about what I do, and you get to decide if I'm somebody you want to talk to for what could be a very long time. And I'd want your father to do the same thing. And then I'm going to interview you and ask you guys some questions. And then I'm going to see if I can scare you away, Riley, and see if I can make you quit playing soccer, or at least quit wanting to try and play college soccer. Is that a deal?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my first question, go ahead.
So her weakness right now is taking a pill. So if you get her to talk about taking pills, she'll get all flustered. But if you get her to talk about anything else, no problem.
Okay.
She's super smart and super motivated and dedicated, right?
I can tell already from your video and your Instagram and things we'll talk about. So I want to ask, this is actually for your father first, but then Riley, I'll ask you next. What is it that you think she needs the most help with at this stage, AKA, why did you want to book a call?
I think more than anything, just my first reaction was just curiosity, right? And so we've been around some of the top players. We went to World Cup this last season and talked to the Thompson sisters' father, spent some time with him. And, they didn't play high school soccer. Like, it's kind of like the new trend of either holding kids back a year, not playing high school, or by then they're playing only club and maybe getting onto the under-17 national team. Just making sure we make the right steps. I was a professional athlete out of high school. I traveled the world racing bicycles for almost 10 years. I didn't have a recruiter. I didn't have the D1 style. It was an individual sport that was all about me and my self-marketing and my results. With the team, you can't just have results of one person. You have a team that gets acknowledgement and records and ECNL versus GA. I'm learning all these things. It's just like a breathing through a fire hose or drinking through a fire hose, and just making sure we make good steps and good decisions. We just jumped teams. So this is something that we would have thought would have never done, but here in our town, it's Bakersfield, California. It's a small town. You posted CSUB today. But we don't even have an ECNL team in the town. Our girls just got GA, and that doesn't start till 2012. She's at 2011. They wouldn't let, I'm 2013, I'm sorry, other way around, 2013. I get confused because volleyball talks in age and not year, and soccer talks in year and not age. So 2013, they have it in 2012. So we moved her to Legends. We drive 2.5 hours at least once a week, maybe sometimes twice a week, to have her practice with this team. She has private lessons in town, private, one-on-one with a college student. And then we'll also work with another guy named Marco and his son. His son just signed with LAFC. Okay. He's got multiple kids that came out. So we're just trying to make sure we make the right decisions to get her to play at the level that's competitive so that she continues to be challenged instead of just being the biggest fish in a small pond and then, not getting to play with the highest caliber. And yeah, you're scoring great goals on all these kids that are not ever going to play higher level soccer.
Very well said. And Riley, what if I were to ask you, what is it that you think you need help with in order to play college? I know college seems very far away, and it is, but that is my job here. So what do you think you need the most help with?
I think I just need the most help on, like, if I do something wrong, just someone telling me you gotta do this, just like correcting me or just helping me play better or getting to meet higher level coaches.
What a super answer. So that would then lead me to, I'm going to ask you first again, Riley. Why do you think, let's back up actually. What is your dream with college, with soccer? Forget colleges. What's your dream? What is it that you want to achieve one day?
I want to be on the U.S. women's professional team.
Okay, that's your dream. Okay, I love it.
National.
And then play professional. So they go hand in hand, I think. If you're on the national team, you're probably playing professional.
Very well said. So you mentioned the Thompson sisters. I coached them at Harvard Westlake. I'm from here. And to your point, they definitely took some steps to achieve those goals. And I think it's great that you're exposing yourself to that. I would say most parents, even my parents, like you mentioned, you're a pro athlete. My dad was a pro surfer, but that did not.
Much cooler.
Debatable. But yeah, there was some level of transition in terms of dedication, but he didn't know anything about soccer. And now.
Mindset. It's mindset and like perspective, right? Like, so your dad, I'm sure it's like, I had pictures of people on my wall. I met those people. I told those people, I'm going to beat you someday. They thought I was a crazy person. 2 years later, I'm living with them in the same house in Westlake Village, in Camarillo, and like we're training together, racing, like traveled the world together. Like you have to have that mindset, or it's never going to happen. Yeah, this is her, right? We spent time with Alex in the hotel. We, by chance randomness, we were in the hotel of the U.S. national team twice. Just random. We flew to New Zealand.
Went to Wellington.
Yeah, we went to the restaurant. Our niece is like, "Oh my God, the Netherlands team's in your hotel." We're like, "Oh, that's cool." And then we go back to the hotel, and the U.S. national team's in there. It was like the most random, coolest thing. So it became a stalking mission. The rest of the time we were in New Zealand, I bought Riley a soccer ball, and she got 14 autographs on the ball.
Wow.
The only one you didn't get was Rodman. We didn't get Rodman.
Okay, amazing. That's amazing. So I guess there was a video I had you tried to make you guys watch before your dad. Anyway, did you see that longer video?
We watched. I didn't watch all your parent videos, but we watched the For Us video.
Okay, cool, perfect. So it is to say, you guys can see, for those, if this is your goal, and when I was your age, I was around 8 years old and starting to explore this. But at 11, I remember I told my parents, like, I want to be a pro soccer player. There's nothing else I want to do in my life. And they're like, okay. And then I started sleeping with the ball. I wore 2 pairs of pants because I thought it made me stronger, which does not work, by the way. And I wouldn't drink water because I thought I would be better off and all those things. And so that's the level of obsession we're talking about, which I can feel from your daughter. And I want to apologize to your father. You have an addicted daughter, and there's really nothing that cures it. No pills, nothing other than, and you made a great analogy, which is we want to guide her. And Riley, I think it's good she hears this. She's a train, and she's a bullet train, like the one going to Hogwarts, going super fast. But your father's job is to have a lever and go, maybe we should go this way. Maybe we should go this way. Maybe we need to go backwards. And so the more educated we all are, the better we can do. So with that said, I kind of want to talk about what I would probably do in your guys' situation, relatively speaking. Is that okay?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So your daughter wants to be a pro soccer player at the highest level. You've already got a team. It takes a village, as you know. And Westlake, I'm from Malibu, so I'm pretty familiar with that area. And from that perspective, we want to create a village. Now, if she wants to go pro, and she may have this already, there's obviously the technical piece, the mental piece, which I'm sure providing, the health piece, the technical, the watching of soccer. But there's also this like recruiting aspect. So the immediate thing is this. When I look at her videos, and I got to see the longer one you sent me and her Instagram, I am selfishly going, look, is this even something we can talk about at her age? Is she good enough for us to have this discussion? Now, good enough's a strong word because she's so young. But like, does she have the attitude to go, hey, you know what? As an 11-year-old, we're talking about this, or maybe I should tell you guys, you know what? Go play some more soccer. Come back to me in a couple of years. She is 11 after all.
Yep.
So with that in mind, here's the deal with the videos. I do want to change, like eventually, and make her like a real. This is fine. I just want to touch on some better videos I want to make in the future. You mentioned marketing for yourself, so that's important. But I watched all the videos, and like even that first touch. Like even the way she drives, I'm going, for an 11-year-old, there's a lot here. You know, it's evident that she practices in her backyard. That's a great finish. You got it on camera, which is incredible also, because that's a whole other expertise. And my parents are in the film industry now, so I got a lot of video. And so my point is to say, I'm looking at an 11-year-old that I want that this discussion should be had for two reasons. And this is for you, Riley, to hear. One, and the biggest one, is you seem to be very dedicated, and that's what matters the most. I was playing JV soccer as a junior in high school, and then I went on to play pro soccer for 10 years. So what matters is you really, really want it. That's number one. Number two, you do look to be a good soccer player. So that brings us to this. For her age, this is what we tend to do. And look, the majority of my students are obviously high school kids, but when I had this issue happening over and over again, because like if you had even requested a call like 3 weeks ago, you would have just been sent to like, call me later, basically. Call me in a couple of years. And then I kept running into this issue. And then I was like, look, we need to start a strategy, basically. And this is what I did for my brothers and for me. And now we're doing it for a couple other kids. So a handful of kids. So now here's the first thing. She needs proper.
Honestly, I would have thought, I'm not even going to bother reaching out.
Totally.
I'm too early. I just threw that video out and I was like, this is so cool. He might think it's cool to see. Because I watched that scoring video, the goal, and I every time I watch it, I'm like, how in the heck did she kick it so far for this little girl?
Absolutely.
And, I mean, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's on her Instagram. Is your mom put it on Instagram?
Yeah.
I think it is. But she's a highlight reel, and it's insane.
Yeah.
But you responded back, and so I was like, well, let's talk then. I wouldn't have thought to reach out yet.
Totally. And I wouldn't have thought to respond.
It'd be newer. It'd be like, it's like one of the first videos she has.
I watched them all.
Here, top left.
Top left.
Other one. That one.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
She's the pink headband. She gets the ball, does a one-on-one, and then
that's what I mean. This is
insane.
Alex Morgan right-footed, you know? Absolutely. So what I'm saying is this is great. I want to start making a real video, a real one. Yep. And you guys mentioned a really important point, where you live, whether college coaches don't have no empathy. And this is a hard discussion to have with your daughter right now, maybe, but college coaches are there to win games, especially if you want to go pro, which is what you're telling me. So the teams you want to play for are not, I mean, there are very good schools in your area, but you want to go to UCLA, USC, Florida, you want to go pro. So if that's the case, I want a real video. So that's number one. Those are all great clips, but I want a real one. And the problem with your region, which is what I drove from Malibu to Pasadena, which was 2.5 hours like you guys are doing from her age. And my parents, again, didn't know anything, but that's where the soccer was. And I want GA is going to be a big part of her life. Not playing ECNL will be a problem. And
so we moved. Yeah, we ditched it. We're out. We're at ECNL. If she makes she's on pre-ECNL team right now as a 2013 playing in the 12s. In April, they have the tryouts for the full ECNL team, which starts at basically 12 years old, I guess.
Perfect. So here's the reason that's so key. Like I interview girls and girls soccer coaches, and they all tell you, oh, just start the recruiting process freshman year. That's the coaches are going like, yeah, but we would have expected you to be playing ECNL right before then, you know, but they don't communicate that because they don't think we should be having this discussion. But I'm going, but the parents don't know that you have to do things to do what you guys are doing. So that's a great start. So my point is, I want a full video. The second piece of it is, I want her going to camps of schools that are elementary to middle school age. And that may sound crazy,
But no, she's fine. She plays against those girls now.
Exactly.
No,
and I want her to do that because, one, she is good, right? If she wasn't good, then it would be a different strategy where we might talk about getting better for a while first. But she's good to the point where for her age, there's going to be a bunch of kids playing for fun. And the coaches, there's always 2 or 3 kids where the coaches are like, you're really good. What's your name? What club team are you playing for? And then they just keep track of you for a while. And the scary part for girls, and the Thompson sisters, they were committed at 7th, 8th grade. So, and they wanted to go pro, which is obviously your goal too, Miss Riley. So the other thing is camps. Then club soccer will be a discussion forever. Right now, you're on this ECNL team. We shouldn't have to switch, but your coaches are going to be mean. They're going to be great. They're going to be bad. It never ends, unfortunately, which is why I'm trying to scare you away, because it is a brutal process. The sad part is
she had the coach we had in Bakersfield. His name is Bruce Butterbrett. He's phenomenal.
Yes, I actually heard that.
He's insane at how good he is, but he just doesn't have the kids. And so, we stayed with him for one more year, and finally we had to have the meeting and say, Bruce, we're guest playing for Legends. Thank you so much for letting us do that. We respect that you let her do that, but we have to get her involved in that level of soccer at all times. She can't show up to Supercopa, play a tall 12-year-old girl, and be confused and not know how to do it. She's got to practice with these 12-year-old girls too. So
yes, very well said.
We're sad to leave him, but she played her second Supercopa completely different than she played her first Supercopa. She's maturing dramatically.
Amazing. And Riley, your father clearly, competed at a very high level to have these thoughts, which I would say the typical Muggle-esque person does not have. So that's a really great place to start. And so what we're doing, and so this is a girl that we started with recently who is in 4th grade and, similar to your age, your daughter's age. So Riley, do you know what your juggling record is?
She does.
I think it's 62.
Okay, so good. This girl,
we know there's a lot higher. We know there's girls with, that just do a lot of juggling. She juggles a lot, but
true. Juggling doesn't mean you're a good soccer player. If you can't juggle, it typically means you're not a good soccer player. But being a good soccer player does not make you a good one. However, at your age, one of the things that is important is we do need to get you to 100. After 100, I don't really care, but 100 is important. And there's an exercise I'm going to give you that has nothing to do with the number of juggles as much as it has to do with how quickly you can do the juggles. That's more important. So in saying that, this is something that maybe you don't need. So we're going to talk about it. So because of your father's expertise and because of the village he's already given you, I want her, and you already kind of have this, is to know your schedule, which you already have, which is when does she work out, when does she eat, and how would I slightly comment on it and go, here's what I want her to do before training. Here's how I want her to act during training, like more chances to look over her shoulder, more chances to be more like a college or we'll say pro soccer player. Now, you may have that environment, in which case, great. My main thing for her is we've already picked out for this girl which ID camps I want her to go to this winter and this summer. So for her, we want to do kind of something similar. The other piece of it, which your daughter actually mentioned, which I love, is we want to, and you guys again may have this and you don't need me, which is great if you have somebody, is I want her, Mimi's her name, I want her to start going through soccer games and her own games. So I want her to make a note. If you make a forward pass, how many touches do you take? Backwards, how many touches? And then, do you have a favorite player, Miss Riley?
Trinity Rodman.
Perfect. Oh, okay, perfect. And then I want you to watch her game, and we're going to compare you two. How many times did she touch it versus you? And then we're going to watch your footage. And here's the most important. I don't care about your team. I don't care about your teammates. I only care about Riley. So our footage is not about how the team can get better, which is typically the coach's job. Our job is to make you an individual as best you can be. Does that make sense? Okay. So then the next piece of it is we got to do the schedule. And the main other aspect is I want her video going out to, and here's the kind of clever part. We're going to send emails to the Division I schools and Division III. Division III can respond technically, but she's 11. But the D1 schools, I want them knowing who she is for the next one. If she can get out an email every 6 months consistently, even every 3 months, here's a new video. I just won this. I just got this record. I want to play for the national team, as you've already talked about. We actually also, so I want that going to the D1s consistently, and I'll show you this template we have, or this email thing we have. But also, if you email the college coaches and you look up where they're coaching club, you can email them as a club person as much as you want. So like the UCLA coaches all coach at Tudela. So we can email their Tudela email as a normal person, not break any rules. Does that make sense?
We just went to a UCLA game just the other day.
Amazing. And I live in Westwood. So one day we could say hi. I live right next door. So I go to the girls' games pretty often. The assistant coach actually plays with me in my Sunday league. Because
they were dropping like flies, man.
Yeah, they were dropping like flies.
Santa Clara?
Yeah.
Santa Clara.
And they won, but then they lost to Pepperdine the other day. And Pepperdine's coach was the first person to ever teach me how to kick a ball.
That's her she hasn't been to Pepperdine, but for something about it she's attracted to.
I like that. Pepperdine's beautiful. I grew up in Malibu, so Malibu, that's good taste. So that brings us kind of to this final piece of it. So so let me ask you actually this, Riley, there's a lot of work you have to do. Have I managed to maybe scare you away from wanting to play college soccer?
No.
Not at all? Tiny bit?
No, I still want to play college soccer.
Okay, what if you have to take a pill to play college soccer?
I'll still do.
She'll get it figured out by then.
Okay.
So Riley's she's a phenomenal person. Not just in 4.0 student. She is someone who everyone loves. Every kid on her team loves her. Every coach is drawn to her. She's multiple team captain. She went for surf select. This year she played at Supercopa. She became the first team captain on surf. We just left. We were very heartbroken to have to leave that scenario. And, she's on this Legends team. It doesn't appear that they have a leader yet. They have a lot of girls that are there wanting to compete for this next team. This is kind of like I can tell it's a team that they put together to field next year's full ECNL team. So I feel like all these little girls are just fighting for their spot right now. But I think you'll see Riley end up being the leader on that team. And she wears a yellow headband. This kind of telling. By the third game, there's like 6 girls wearing yellow pre-wrap headbands. Just it just kind of took over on accident, right? It wasn't intentional. Nobody meant, I just feel that people are drawn to her and people love her. So she's a phenomenal person. Very lucky to have her as a daughter.
Oh, I can feel that. And Riley, as somebody who's as dedicated as you are, when you see the stuff I'm talking about, I want to go through game film. I do want to give you some different technical exercises. I do want to talk about going to ID camps. I want to talk about how to navigate your club situation, which you guys are doing a good job to begin with. Is that the type of help you would like to talk to about with somebody?
Yes.
Okay. So let me show you this. And this is grown up. And I like, if your father would like you to, if you want me just to talk to you, Dad, I can, but I like to show everybody.
She's smart.
She's an adult. I can feel that. So with that in mind, here's the deal, Miss Riley. This is how I begin. I want to talk to you every week for the first month. And in that first month, you started school? Okay. So obviously we'll manage it out around your school schedule, but I want to talk to you every week. And during this part, we need to do some adult things, which your father and mother, I'm sure, are very good at, but you need an email signature and it's got to be really pretty. Super important. We need to have your references. We need to set up your video, meaning right now you don't have a proper video. We need an intro page. We're going to do a little self-interview. One of the things that your father brought up really well, and I can feel it on this call, you are a mature 11-year-old woman, and I need the college coaches to feel that. Wow, for 11 years old, she's acting like a professional soccer player. So we're going to fix your video. You're going to message us on Discord. Have you guys heard of Discord before? Okay, so I'm going to show you what it looks like so you can get an idea. I used to do emails, right, but back and forth, but your father's a busy guy. He has, I assume, gets a handful of emails. And more importantly, if we are going to do this the way I'm going to show it to you, we have a lot of emails that we would go back and forth with. So instead, I put everyone on this app. And this is basically what it looks like. So you're going to get your name in your channel, and then I'm going to talk to you in this channel. And it's just you and my team and nobody else. And the reason it's important is you're going to say to me, hey, Zev, this happened on January 4th of last year. And I can just find it super quickly. If it's emails, it just doesn't work. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is Discord. The next thing is, I'm going to keep sharing my screen. The next thing is we're going to message everything on there. And that's also how we fix your videos and all that. I need to edit your videos.
Can you upload videos from the phone to that?
Exactly. That's exactly why we use that system. So, and you're going to upload it to a drive also, because basically I have something set up where you upload it, I get an email, I start working on it right then and there. So we're going to, for your daughter, I want us to Are they filming with the VO yet or not yet?
Yeah, so this team has the forget the name of it. We were going to buy one for the surf team, but nobody wanted to contribute. And
Okay.
I would just
Trace,
I don't want to be
or VO?
Trace.
Trace.
We have a Trace.
Okay. I'm sponsored by Trace. I love Trace. So Trace is my favorite, and they're great, and I have a relationship with them. So what I'd like you to do is give me the footage. Now, Trace is pretty good. It will cut it for you, but it doesn't make it into like a real video. It does give cool statistics, which we can leverage over time, but we want all your videos. We also want for Instagram. And really, this is really good because I want your daughter watching herself in a positive way. There's a lot of headspace when you start watching games, what you did wrong, but we don't want that headspace. That gets very sensitive. We've
done a very good job. We've come over that
amazing
hurdle. We had a little hurdle in the beginning. It was partly dad's fault, maybe partly mom's fault, but it's a whole different scenario.
And here's the fun part. In this case, Riley, with me, all we're going to do is make highlight videos. So all I'm going to do is say, you did so good. You did so good. You did so good. And what I've done, because I've done this for a long time now, is if you show what they've done wrong, which you have to do from time to time,
we don't do that.
We talk about it.
Minutes and then it's over.
Right. And the beautiful part, though, is at this age is the only time you can do it. Once they're in college, you got to say you did this wrong and you can't do that again. But at her age, if you just show them what they do right all the time, they just tend to do it right more often as opposed to. So we got to talk about game video. We're going to go through that. I have a technical video that is specific to me where I'm going to be doing the exercise and it's timed, and it has a statistic, and you're going to do it also. And we're going to see who wins, and there's levels. And once you get to level 4, then you're as good as me, which should hopefully take you a little while because otherwise that's embarrassing for me. And then, but you're happy to embarrass me. And then you guys saw the Google Drive and the AI. And then this is the deal. So if you want to work with us until you graduate college, this is the price. Now, in your situation, given your daughter's age, this is only, Riley, if you guys decide, which you're not going to decide today, hey, we want this forever, we know it. In your guys' case, this is probably what I would recommend, where you could just call me on a one-time basis whenever you want. But the problem is I'll never have a timeline. It'll just be, this is happening, Zev, and I won't get to touch her videos or talk to her. So this is probably what I would recommend instead, is we just are committed to each other until 8th grade. Then in 8th grade, I charge an additional $3, and then we're with her all through high school. And to give you an idea, if we were to start in 8th grade, it would be 10. And the reason I do that is because I want kids to start earlier because it's better for the kids. And so here's the last thing, Miss Riley. You can't work with me today. I need you to talk about it with your dad and think it over as a family. But why, Riley, do you think you're a good fit to work with me?
I think I'm a good fit to work with you because I want to get far with soccer, and I think I'm good enough. And you seem like you're a really good recruiter, and help people get recruited. And it seems like you were a really good soccer player.
Thank you. And from your father's perspective, I just want to make one thing clear that I did not do a good enough job of. She's going to work directly with one of my coaches, and I'm going to monitor everything. So you, Ms. Riley, you will hear from me constantly through the Discord, but you won't talk to me every day. There will be some videos you definitely get from me, and we will have discussions. We're going to be together a while. But every day I got to have you talk to my coach because I'm going to be looking up what middle school camps are happening. Should she fly somewhere one day? Do we send her to IMG just to try out and not go? I'm just busy with those things. So to ask your father, I guess, why do you think your daughter's a good fit? Although I can feel it, but just so I can have it for the record.
No, I mean, if IMG was down the street, she'd be going to IMG tomorrow, in a second, right? Mom won't let her go, not yet.
That's okay. You have sisters too, Riley. How many sisters?
She has an older sister, yeah.
Cool.
Who's a volleyball player. For me, I just don't want to. My career was, I use this all the time, accidental greatness. I was accidentally really great at it, and I kind of it happened. I rode my bike every day as a kid without having, the intention of being a professional athlete. I was just always on the bike, always working bike racing for fun. Had a side hack, got really strong, pumping my friend around town, rode motorcycles, went to a first mountain bike race and smoked everybody. I was like, what the heck? How? And it just, accidental greatness. It just worked out. I became a national champion and then progressed. That's not the norm. That's not the norm. And, had I had someone working with me at 15, 14, 13, I would have been even better. The ones that beat me, they had that. the world champion from France, he had someone working with him much longer than I ever did. I had a trainer for a while. I had some specific schedules, and I really saw by being more dedicated and disciplined, it really reflected in my results and my mindset and everything. So my goal for Riley, and the reason I think it's something along this path, is to just continue to instill that, and it's not just from me, right? At some point, she's going to stop listening to dad, or dad's going to be like, "Oh God, Dad, you're just saying the same thing over." So she needs to have that information coming from other sources, and it seems that you have a proven tool or proven method, and so we want to investigate that.
Cool.
That's
Awesome.
kind of where we are now, and I also know that a lot of success doesn't just come from skill and how good you are at that moment. It comes from determination and actually not quitting, right? So the people who stick with it typically get to that next level. So being great for 4 years is one thing, but then being great and then staying disciplined and staying at it and not quitting because you had one rough season or your coach yelled at you, that's how you get to the next level.
Very well said. So here's the last piece. Because of the nature of your daughter's situation, some of it has to do with my excitement, but also because of the demand, I don't work with that many students, particularly at her age, because one, there's...
Wouldn't expect you to, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So because of that, I must have an answer from you guys in 24 hours. If in 24 hours you say, "Hey, we'd like more time," and you email me, that's no problem. It's not like my high school kids where I will tell them, like, if you're a senior, I go, "Well, too bad, I can't help you." In your case, we're not in that scenario. So I only ask that you let me know in 24 hours if you have any questions or if you'd like to move forward. If you don't want to move forward, I'm not going to say we can't work together one day in the future, but then it just lets me know that, hey, I'm going to give the spot to somebody else. Does that make sense?
Right. I understand.
Okay, cool.
You showed the schedule. Do you guys prepare that schedule showing her, suggested breakfast? Like we wake up in the mornings and we run. We have a pretty good schedule. So, but it appears that you create some sort of framework to kind of give her, this is what I think you should be doing. Do your best to fit in this. We fit in with practice days, which private days, which travel days for soccer. And obviously navigate that together.
Yeah. So here's the biggest one, and this is really important for her. So there's and Riley, I'm not criticizing you or your father. You may do some of this already, but your father mentioned he was an elite competitor, but not in soccer. It's a piece of what does she do on a daily basis, but most importantly, how does she do those things that she's going to do anyways, because it's going to compound. So for example, she does a passing drill at practice. I know she does. I need her looking over her shoulder and calling a color when no one else is. When she takes her first touch, I need it to be when she's moving, not when she's standing still like everybody else is. The cone, I don't want her standing on the cone. I want her checking away and coming to the cone. Some coaches are better than others and hint at those things, but I am a pro soccer player, and this is what I do on my daily basis, and I expect her to be at my level. And that coach I mentioned who came up to my mother, he was a psycho in the loving of, he's going to come to my wedding, he changed my life, but he brought me to Fulham, which is a team in England when I was around 14. And what they do to those kids over there is like nothing you've ever seen. That's like what your gentleman in France was doing. It is a different species. So I want your daughter to be on that level, which doesn't have anything to do with me in person. I'm going where I'm going to watch video of her at practice that you're going to film with your iPhone, and I'm going to go, at this moment, you should have shown up early and practiced your 50s before practice. Everyone else is talking and dilly-dallying. You're going to start warming up. And it's mainly, that's the main piece. Now, of course, I'll say, hey, we're not going to be lifting weights or anything like that. But like, hey, it's important to have good hip mobility. Here are things that in the future, because girls have a very, ACL risk, here are things that you guys want to look into. And when she gets hurt, how do we handle physical therapy? I've had so many MRIs. I'm sure you have too. And to go, what do we do? So to answer your question, it's mainly, yes, we want a framework, but I'm really particular into, I want to not control, but I want to hint at every moment to go, how do I maximize every moment when she's doing things she's going to do anyways?
Yep. Yeah. We've done a pretty good job. And I'm also, sometimes I have to check myself and be like, she's super little to stop.
Very well said. And that's what my job and our job is as coaches. We want to, Riley, your job is to have fun. Our job is to go, this is why this is fun. Like the 50s exercise. It's a timed, fun game. She's going to do it against me. I want her to do that before every practice. You'll see the video in a minute, but it's important to me. So I have to run. It was really nice talking to you all. I'm going to send over the email. You'll get this recorded Zoom also if you'd like to show your wife. I just asked for some answer in 24 hours. If I don't get one, then I will follow up because I care now. But then also I will, we can talk about it in the future. But otherwise, I just need to know in 24 hours.
Yeah, and you may have to teach me how to do all this digital stuff I got 15 different notifications.
Yeah. So
I almost was like, dude, I'm going to be on your meeting.
So that is my fault. The main reason is 98% of my kids are children who book me. So I will change it actually, because when you guys' age book me, it's adults, and I don't need that. It's built for my kids who don't show up and are children.
Text messages, reminder 5 minutes before. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I will fix that. Thank you for telling me that.
No.
The last thing is,
if you notice, dentists do that because dentists get people that don't show all the time, right?
Yeah.
So
it comes from
We'll see you at a UCLA game sometime. If you're
close. We could schedule for sure. That'd be that I don't get to meet most of my students in person just because of the nature of most of them are online.
What number was the good girl that scored the goal? 17? Oh, you should have remembered this. I think it was 17.
Probably 17.
I think it was 17. Really good. So I will also, you guys mentioned like you have college, like people who you were talking to. All that stuff is great. I just want it to be college soccer oriented, and that's because I'm crazy. I'm not denying that. It's lovely talking to you all, Riley. It was a pleasure.
We'll let you go. Thank you so much.
We'll talk soon. Hello, everybody. Once upon a time, you had the same name? No way. A certain scroller on YouTube, I just hit your channel because of the name. Once upon a time, I used the same exact name on my Instagram and page. There's a recommendation for getting subs to go with soccer knowledge, but the world as well as your college. Hope you understood. No bad vibes, only helping hand. By the way, national football player from India. Best of luck. That's super cool. No, I have no qualms with you, Mr. Rutuban. In fact, if you're in India and you want to help kids play college soccer from India, we can partner up if you want to. I'm in freshman year and just made JV. Is this a sign I can make it to college? I don't know. I would need to see video. What should I let him do? I got a friend that's a goalkeeper and he's trying to go to college. How can you help him for me? He's very good. What should I let him do? Please schedule a call. That's from Twitter. Najafine. Please schedule a call when you can. Okay. I'm very disappointed. My two phones just overheated and just broke, it looks like. See if it's just break, huh? That's annoying. So that means I need to buy new technology. I can't take it. Okay, guys, I'm live on YouTube, so just give me a second, everybody. I'm gonna try and fix something technology-wise. I'm right here, everybody. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving you yet, anyways. I just want to try to fix something real quick because the technology, in order to keep going live, is not cooperating. I think I might have to I have like an old iPad and an old iPhone, and basically that's how I go live on everything. But they're so old that they just die. So I could stream from my computer, but that doesn't work very well, at least as of yet. So we'll have to see if I can get these to work now from here. Can you guys see me? No. Okay, I'll look that up later. Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time. Okay, I'm live here, and I'm also live here. So what I'm gonna do, just flip it over here. Okay, so I'm live now on pretty much everything, and I think it's working. Okay, so I'll just have to leave it here instead of over there. Hello, everybody. I'm live per usual, and I'm here to help you guys. I think I have a bunch of messages on Instagram where you guys are wondering. I want to see something. Hello, everybody on TikTok. It says 0 people are here, so I don't know if TikTok is working or not. College Soccer Pathway, what's up, dude? I am busy, but I've been meaning to log in. I can try and do that right now. SVSA, good program. Yes, very good program. Let me see here, link in bio. I want to see if I can add. YouTube logo. YouTube logo. What does a YouTube logo look like? YouTube. None of those are YouTube. YouTube. Okay. That's a live one. Okay, so it doesn't do that, I think. Okay, so I needed to know. All right. Sorry, what's the best way to get in contact with you? Click the link in the bio and I can call you, or you can call me. How do you send an email to school when asking if they're still looking for 25s, women's soccer? Dear coach, I hope this finds you well. Are you still looking for a blank for the class of blank? Position for the class of 2025. Thanks. You're welcome, Jay Martinez. Okay, guys, this was a test. I just needed to see if the technology was working. I don't love this angle for you guys. It's not super pretty. I'd like a better, beautiful angle for all of this. But it's a start. I need to eat, but I also think I have a call here in a few minutes. I do. I have a call here in 2 minutes. Wow. I have a call here in 2 minutes. Believe it or not, this is with a 6th grader, I think. I'll double check right now. So I know you guys are like, well, you don't need to start the recruiting process then. And I don't even think you're wrong, to be completely honest, except if you want to play at the highest levels, then you do have to start at that time, which I know sounds crazy, but so that's how it is. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's a competitive world. It's a competitive world out there. Okay. Is MLS Next worth it? Typically, but it depends how old you are and everything else. If you have an opportunity to play MLS, ignore it. I'll certainly admit that because it's hard to get a chance, and it can make a big difference. It can make a big difference. Okay, we're going to now. Okay, here we go, everybody. Can you go live? I think this is the only way you can go live. Oh, But hey Zev, I've been doing that. I've only had 2 yeses. Who should I email the head coach? 797 Cam. I've seen you many times. You need more help. Can you call me, please? Because that means your video is not right, or maybe you're not good enough, or you need to email different schools. So I need to know more about you. What's a good app to edit your highlight videos? WeVideo.com. WeVideo.com. Probably the best one.
Recording in progress.
Thoughts on Moisey Bambito? Very good player. Is Atlanta United good? Yes, they're very good. Atlanta United, super good. I play NPL and want to go to ECNL. That's good. Please, Zev, you didn't reply my message. You have to book a call with me. There's too many messages. I'm sorry. I get hundreds of messages. Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Obviously, there's an elephant in the room, which is your age, which we'll get to in a minute. Just before we jump into that, can I ask who found me first?
Rest of you too.
What's that?
Who found me first?
Oh, I saw you on Instagram.
Awesome. And what did you tell it sounds like your wife and your daughter about me?
With all the soccer going on lately, we start passing things on, and then it's like, hey, check this guy out. He's got a lot of good information.
I'm trying. I'm trying for sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I'm trying to put out all that. And so let me ask your daughter while she's here. What did your father tell you about me?
He's asking you.
That's correct.
That you could help me play college soccer.
Okay, I did bribe your father a lot of money for that. Now, since I think I hear your wife there. What did your husband tell you about me?
He just sent me a video. I think it was about ECNL soccer, and that's how we were just swapping videos back and forth that you post.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I want to talk about what the goal of today's call is. Is that okay?
Sure.
There was a longer video I tried to make you guys watch before. Did you get a chance to see that?
We did, yes.
Cool. So the goal here is to basically do this. I want to see if I can help your daughter potentially play college soccer. And I want you to interview me, including your daughter, and go, hey, is this guy crazy? Which I have a little bit of crazy in me. It takes a little bit of crazy Zoe to make it to these levels. And also, I want to see if you're the right fit. Maybe I can help you, maybe I can't. And then I want you to interview me. And then finally, I want to see if I can scare you away from playing college soccer. Because if I can scare you away, then I can save your parents a lot of driving, a lot of time. And they
Too late, Zev.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to try one more time. I joke about it because my mother, we have 3 boys, and she joked about starting a Facebook page called Mothers Against Driving Their Kids to Soccer Games because it just is so much. So with that in mind, I have a couple questions first for your daughter. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ms.
Yes.
Zoe. Zoe, my first question for you is, what is your goal with soccer? Just soccer in general.
I want to go pro.
You want to play at the highest level possible?
Yes.
Okay, I like that attitude. I can hear in tone of voice that you are serious. Now, if I were to say to you, why do you want to be a pro soccer player? Why is that?
Because I love soccer.
Okay, you love soccer. I love that you love soccer. Now, if you were to tell me what is your plan to go pro? Could you map it out for me a little bit? What's step 1? Let's start there. Let's say after high school. What are you gonna do after high school to go pro?
Go to college.
I can hear the question in your voice. Do you know the statistics of how many girls are playing pro soccer in the United States that played in college?
1%.
Oh, that is true. I phrased the question badly. Of the 1%, How many of them played college soccer?
Like, no, I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. So of the 1% that make it on the girls' game in America, 99% of them played college soccer. So if you want to play pro soccer, college soccer is the next step. And then, of course, for your parents and I, we want you to go to school and get educated. But college soccer is the way to go pro. Is that a deal?
Yes.
Okay, so since we agree on that, now the question is, how do we play college soccer? Because once we can play college, and just so you know, you've seen the girls, the girl who committed to playing pro at 14, you can bet she had a bunch of pro college offers before she got that one. So college is the way. So now that we know college is the way, or at least we agree on that, what is that you think, Zoe, you need the most help in order to play college soccer?
Like improving myself
Very good. So getting
and
better at
on the
soccer.
field too.
Getting better as a person and off the field. Let me pretend it was about recruiting, specifically to recruiting. I don't expect you to have an answer to this, but if you said I needed help with some part of recruiting, what might you say?
Finding like a good fit that I could play college soccer and somebody that could help me like get there.
Nice. That's a super answer. Okay, amazing. So then let me ask your parents. Right now, what is it that you would like the most help from me?
I think we're kind of in the beginning stages, probably just the directional, like where would we head, where do we start? I think where you came in is she recently made an ECNL team. We didn't know if it was too early for that. And then we start seeing your positive feedback on being on ECNL. And so we're just kind of looking directionally, like where do we go, and making sure we point her in the right direction, just because, I mean, she has the desire to play, but we want to point her in the right direction, I guess.
Well, very well said. So let's back up and go. That's super helpful. And you're a goalkeeper, correct, Ms. Zoe?
Yes.
And when it comes to goalkeepers, it's a little bit of a different animal. So before I jump, I should let your wife say anything. Is there anything else that your husband didn't point out that you think she needs help with?
As far on the field, or
Let's talk about recruiting specific. We will get to the field.
no, same as him. I just don't think we know where to start, when to start. I know she has goals on what colleges she wants to go to, and I've heard like some of them start actually, like they have their roster at it like pretty early on. So that's where I'm like, well, how do we make sure she doesn't miss her opportunity?
Very well said. Okay, so there's a couple things that I want to address right off the bat, which are she's a girl, and girls get recruited really early. So have you heard of the Thompson sisters before?
No.
That's okay. So they play for the national team. They're older than you, of course, now, and they committed to Stanford in 8th grade. So if you want to go to Stanford or UNC, they know who you are in a year. Okay, that's how good you tend to have to be to play at those schools. There's always exceptions. I played JV soccer, for example, until I was a junior in high school and went on to play pro soccer for a very long time. But it is to say that if you want to play at the highest levels, this concept of you're only in 7th grade, unfortunately, like it's too bad it's this way, but unfortunately, that's how competitive it is. On top of the fact that your daughter's no longer competing only with American goalkeepers. I had a goalkeeper recently who plays for Liverpool, like the Premier League Liverpool team, who wants your daughter's job or her position. So now we're competing with a lot of people. So with saying that, the next piece of this is your daughter's video. Or videos that I got to see. When I look at video, I kind of put them in two categories. Category one is what level are they given their age, and what level I think they can play, and what would a college coach think if they saw the video? And they're kind of two separate things. So one of the things I want to talk about is, look, I am really impressed, Zoe, with, this is part of the reason you're playing ECNL. And I know Surf very well. I'm partnered with Surf. I'm doing a college soccer night with Surf next Friday. And when I watch your videos as a goalkeeper, I am impressed. So that's kind of why we're on the call today, because I watched the video before the call and I go, look, for her age and her athleticism and her commitment, like doing that, for example, immediately tells me, hey, who is this girl? Okay, so that's the number one. Now, technically speaking, you don't have a highlight video that we can send. You can eventually send your Instagram,
Okay.
but not like this. You cannot send this to college coaches. I'm watching it on the computer, which is lovely for you guys, but they don't tend to do that very often. So it needs to be formatted for Instagram. And more importantly, we need a real highlight video on top of the fact, and this is where I'm trying to scare you away, remember, is because she's a goalkeeper, the coaches already know what they need. And that's kind of the scary part. They know that in her grad year, they already need 1 goalkeeper, 2, 3. They don't really take more than that in a given year. And so because of that, the idea of contacting coaches is not out of the question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings me to the first stage is, have I scared you away yet, Ms. Zoe?
No.
Okay. So here's the next thing. I want to show you what I think she should be doing if you really want to play Zoe at UNC, which is one of the schools you mentioned, or give yourself the best chance, which is kind of my role. I want to show you what I think you should be doing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to reiterate that I'm only saying this, Zoe, and for your parents too, is because you are a good soccer player. So if you were to come to me and you were, say, rec level-esque, I would say, look, you shouldn't be talking to me. Join me a little bit later. And, honestly, you will have lost some opportunity, but at least, it's too early for you. And in fact, it could hurt you. In your case, Zoe, you're a good soccer player for your age. And eventually I'm going to connect you with a family who is a goalkeeping family. They're freshmen. They're now sophomores, but we started with them at your age, and I'll scare you away with that in a minute. So let me just pull this up for you. So when we are working with you, this is whether you work with me or not. Here's kind of the pathway, and this is kind of what your parents were saying is, are we doing the right thing? And what's the timing of it all? So here's what that looks like. The first thing is your videos. Okay, so you have videos that I can pull together, which is the good news. And your dad, you guys were doing a great job filming. So good job, Mom and Dad. What I want to do now is make it a real highlight video, proper with a self-interview. I wanted to have I wanted to show you in this clip where you did such a good job. So you grab it, and then this is arguably a mistake, right? You probably should have caught it, but that's okay because the reaction is so good. Then after that, you sprint to the top of the field, which is super exciting. And you're looking, and this is a really good moment because that's the moment when the other team is out of shape. So that's a good thing you're doing that. And then you use your left hand to kick it with your right foot. So already that's how I knew most kids don't do that at her age, which is great. Now this was a looping ball. See, I went straight up in the air.
Yeah.
We can't be having that as you get older. You have to do what's called a side volley, which I will show you actually for fun. So this is our other student who's your age, and this is her Instagram. And this is what we want to do for you is as we get through this is what I want yours to look like. And this is her actually, as it happens, training with boys, which I want you to do also. This is her here. And she's going to have some side volleys, which we'll show you. But this is what I want eventually your page to look similar to, which is, like I said, yours off to a good start. But I want very similar things, and we're still coaching her as well. And she's playing GA. So the truth is she's going to have some problems, which they're familiar with. But the point is to say, I want yours to look in time a little bit more like this. And here's her real highlight video, which is what we're going to do with yours as well in time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So going to this, videos, lots of videos. The other thing is because you're a goalkeeper, I'm going to show you Chloe's folder. This is what you'll get to this point. I don't expect it tomorrow, but yours is going to look like this. And she has so much video that we have sent out to coaches. These are 2 different highlight videos. This is the original video. Then she's got playing with just for Instagram. And then she's got goalkeeping training videos, which is just specifically training, which you are going to have every year. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So video. The next thing is I want you going to middle school camps. That is non-negotiable. I would like that to happen. Look, the way I put it basically is if I didn't think you were good enough, then I would say it's a waste of time. But you are going to be better than most of the kids your age. And the coaches are going to go, who is the girl? Where is she playing? The other reason is, as of now, since you're still in 7th grade, we can email the college coaches as college coaches, and D3s can respond to you. Now, D1s can't, but let's say, for example, like the head coach, the assistant coach at UCLA is a club coach for Tudela, which is not near you exactly. But the point is to say you can email the UCLA coach at Tudela as a club soccer player. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
without getting in any trouble. And we're celebrating, I guess. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want her emailing coaches and I want her going to camps. The next thing is club soccer. You've joined ECNL, so I will tell you that is a good thing. It's helpful for the recruiting process. Now, getting in front of the UNCs of the world, which is kind of what you guys had talked about initially, and we're in Arizona, is not an easy task. I'm going to be honest. My role here is to give you the best possible chance we're going to send a video to North Carolina every month for the next 3 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and here's how we're going to do that. We are going to use this little platform that I built, and we can type in North Carolina. Well, this is what we'll do for you. We're going to type in girls. We're going to type in Division I. We're going to press select all. We're going to press write something genuine because we have to say something nice. Otherwise, they won't like you. You have to press write email. We're going to go, dear coach, hashtag coach's name, hashtag genuine. And then what we're going to do is it will automatically insert the coach's name for you. There's Dillard. And it's going to already write something for you, which will help you do. And you're going to press send. Obviously, we'll tell you what to say because that's different for every person. But we need to customize this and go, hey, I won Surf Select. Hey, I joined a new ECNL team. Hey, I know you can't respond, man. I'm going to watch your game on TV. Hey, I watched your goalkeeper. She was great. It has to start. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So going back to scaring you away, we're going to start emailing D3s right away. Now, some of them will come to our ID camp in their high school age, which I would like that to happen, even though it is legal, but they have to give you permission. Otherwise, we're going to go to the middle school ones. And there's a ton of them to go to that I would like us to go to. Does that make sense?
Else like that? Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. Did I spell something wrong?
Oh, no.
Okay.
So she was asking if I've received emails for camps.
Yes. And have you?
I have, yes.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about those. I have kind of a list that we're going to consider. But the truth is, at her age, we're going to go for the dream schools. As time goes on, though, we're going to get realistic answers from them. And they'll say, look, we think you are the level, but you got to do X, Y, Z. We need more video. So like one of the things that I don't see yet from your Instagram is I want to hear you, which is not your fault, but we're going to mic you up. And I want to hear you talk and scream and say, good job to your right back and left back and center back and all those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So that is all to say, we're going to make a list for you. We're also going to do D3 schools because it's important. You have A's and B's, correct, in school?
Yes.
Cool. Mostly
Straight
A's.
A's.
There we go. Even better. All A's. So with girls soccer, that is the minimum, but because it's so competitive. But what we're going to do is we're going to reach out to the top academic D3s also, and we're going to do that today. And I expect responses from some of those. That's legal, but we're starting now, so it's important that they start to know you. Like Cal Lutheran, which is where I live, the assistant coach went to high school with me, and they won the NCAA tournament last year. So I want them to know who you are, because if they know who you are, you can email North Carolina and say, I'm in 7th grade. Cal Lutheran already talked to me. That gets their attention. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that brings me to, we got to narrow down your list, but we're going to take a little bit of time for that. I'm going to help you with this. But also, and this is the main reason we start, if you are going to play D1 soccer, you're going to be committed around the beginning of your junior year. If you're going to go to UNC, maybe the winter, spring at the latest. That's for sure. So for you to be able to decide what school you want to go to at that time, I need you to know what your favorite school is, your favorite coach, and I need you to be able to say yes, because if they do make you an offer, you're going to have the offer for about 2 weeks, maybe 3, and then they're going to take it away from you. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So the main reason we're doing all this is, yes, we want you to get recruited to play college soccer one day, but the real main reason is you should not be rushed into making a decision. It's too important. I need you to get to know the coaches. Deal?
Yes.
And I think your parents saw this, but academics come first. Would we all agree on that?
Yes.
Cool. So because of that, what's important to me is, even though academics come first, if she doesn't like her coach because she likes soccer, which I'm trying to scare her away from, she will be miserable. So she has to like her coach. Now, you guys have heard of NCSA yet or not yet?
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Even that your daughter's heard of it says a lot. So NCSA is a huge company like Kaiser Permanente Insurance or anything like that, that runs the world. I bought NCSA, 90% of my students use NCSA, and they're fine if you want to go to a mid-tier D2, low-tier D3 school in the middle of nowhere. That's what it's built for. But you want to go to North Carolina. So even if you don't work with me, you cannot use them. Your club will start using this for showcases pretty soon if they haven't already. My big thing is this. You cannot expect coaches to come to you. You must go to them. So I don't believe in the platform model, which is post your videos on our page and the coaches will just reach out to you. I just don't believe in it because I have no evidence to say that it works. On the flip side, if you reach out to them and you do a good job of it, they like that. They like to see your Instagram. They want to see you hugging mom and dad, that you love each other, that you're a family, that you're going to post on Instagram that you went to dinner with your team. They love those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the biggest difference between us is I want to edit all your videos for the rest of your life. I want you to use this system, the email thing, which nobody else has because it comes from your own Gmail. It's not through like NCSA. So it doesn't say like Zoe at NCSA or Zoe at CollegeSoccerGuy. No one knows they all know who I am because of the way we send videos and emails, but I don't want credit. I just want your daughter to get recruited. And then I need to talk to her 24/7. They only talk to you like twice a month typically. And then I expect results. And for them, if you're in a contract with them, once you're in the contract, you can't get out. And that's not how I operate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so now here's the question that we have to figure out together. Given her age, I'm going to show you the next steps, but I want to ask your daughter a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how certain are you that you want to become the best soccer player you can be?
10.
Okay, no hesitation, which is kind of what I was looking for. So mom and dad, I'm sorry because you have an addicted daughter to soccer, and there's not a lot of cures for it, unfortunately. I am one of those people who is dealing with those things, and it's not easy to deal with those types of things and all those things. So I want to say this. Right now, when we're working with students, this is what we need to do. I just want to show you this. Real quick. Okay, so I just want to show you this real quick so you can see it. When I'm working with students, this is basically what it looks like. The first thing we have to do with your daughter is this. Number one is I want to meet with her every single week for the first month. So every week for the first, obviously, are you in school, Zoe?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll work around her school schedule, obviously, but it gets a lot worse when she's in high school, a lot worse because she's busy. We have a thing called Discord. Have you heard of Discord before?
Yes.
Okay. For your mom or Zoe, it's just an app so we can talk to you all the time. Because if theoretically, we're going to talk to you from now until you graduate college. So we're with you for a pretty long time. Now, during these meetings, you're not going to meet with me. You're going to get a CollegeSoccerGuy coach, and we're going to take you through the process. The main reason you're not meeting with me is I'm going to be editing your videos. I got to pick your camps. I'm going to be watching soccer. I got to hear who needs a goalkeeper. Did you guys hear about this new NCAA rule for the D1s?
The 8 or the birth year?
That is coming also. But this rule is they cut the roster. So you used to be able to have technically an unlimited roster for Division I. Now it's 28. You cannot have more than 28.
I heard you talking about this.
Yeah. So you cannot have more than 28. The good news is there's unlimited scholarship. Before you could only have 9.9 scholarships. Now, given your age, there will be money by the time she gets to that point where she could even make money, theoretically speaking. But the main thing is because of that, you used to have a goalkeeper as a 4, basically. But because of that piece of it, sorry, give me 1 second. Because of that piece of it, like you couldn't normally have a roster of 4 goalkeepers. So now they might cut it to 3. It's possible. We don't know yet. It will depend on each team. But it's to say, right now you're in a situation where we have to be mindful of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what I want to do is show you what we need to do kind of because of it. So with that in mind, as I'm showing you this screen here, I want this to happen real quick. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, I just want to show you this real quick. I just want to pull this up. Okay, now that I can pull this up for you, because I wanted to write this out. So with you, because of your age, this is what I propose. We can talk about it as a family, though, and discuss what we need to do as a goalkeeper. So this is it. Basically, we want to edit all your videos, which you kind of knew. I want to go through game videos. So one of the things in your highlight video that I wanted to show you is, and maybe you mentioned you have a private coach, which is great. I'm pretty crazy, hopefully in a good way, but I'm very I pay attention to detail. So like actually in her video, which I'll show you real quick, go away, is she has a moment here where she does a goal kick and she passes it to her center back. And I'm coaching her that she will no longer be doing that as long as we get permission from your coach, because nobody does it at the college level anymore. It will come up here in a minute. All the time now, center backs pass to you. You must be really good with this is the moment. See how she passed it there? And see how this girl now can start a press? If instead somebody passed it to the goalkeeper, nobody could press yet because you'd have two center backs open. Then eventually she would press and you could pass to a center back and she'd be wide open. So this is what everybody does now. And she didn't get taught this by her coach, which is not their fault, but I don't care about the team. I only care about you. So it is to say, I want you to go through game video and sort that out for you. And also like your side volley, we have to practice your side volley. So the other thing is you're going to get a Google Drive, which you saw, which looks exactly like this. And you're going to be talking to us on a weekly basis. And I need you to be able to write, and we've been with her for some time now. And she just got an email. This was crazy. This was yesterday or 2 days ago. She got a call from a D2 school and she's a freshman, which is totally illegal. And they invited her to come on a visit, which is also super illegal, but that's what happens. So here's all the times we've met. So we've been, very busy for a while now. And I want the same to do with you, which brings me to when we're working together, we've got a couple options for you. So option one is we're with you forever. And we'll talk to your parents about this. And this is the deal. And we're with you forever, all the way till she graduates college. And in your case, I normally recommend option 3, but given your daughter how good she is, this is what I recommend. If she decides to start with us in 8th grade or 9th grade, it will be the same price. So the earlier we get to start, the cheaper it is technically. The next one is you guys could just call me randomly whenever you need help. Go, hey, we want to call you. We have a question. My only problem with that is I can't edit your videos and I have no streamline. So I don't know what you've been doing. So I don't love this one. The other option, which I don't like either, but maybe you guys would like it instead, is it's 5 up front to work with you until 8th grade. So from now until you finish 8th grade, so 2 years. And then after 8th grade, if you say, hey, Zev, we want to stay with you until you graduate high school, then I charge this much more. And then I'm with her until she graduates. Does that make sense? So it is potentially cheaper, this option. It's just more upfront. Does that make sense for mom and dad?
Yeah, what was the first one?
No problem. The first one is 10
grand, 16,
10 grand,
66.
split up into 6 payments. And the reason for the 6 payments, and in this case, the 3 payments for this model, is because in 3 months, I would like her to be talking to in 3 months. And this is typically, I don't say this is why I'm typing it out. In 3 months from now, I expect her to be genuinely recruited by D3 schools. So in 3 months. So that is to say, I expect Division 3 schools to go, hey, I liked your video. Could you come to our camp in the future? Hey, I liked your video. Could you come to our middle school camp? Could you come to our game in the fall? It will be limited to some degree, of course. Division 1s, I can't promise you that because that's illegal. But as you can see, they break the rules. But this is in 3 months from now, if she's not getting emails back from D3 schools, then my process will not work. And then I will fund you and we go our separate ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me back up and say this to your daughter, Ms. Zoe. Have I scared you away at all?
No.
Okay, so that's unfortunate. From your perspective, Zoe, take away the money. Your mom and I and dad can talk about that. Why do you think you're a good fit to work with me, Zoe?
Because I think that you would guide me in the right direction to play college soccer.
That's a lovely answer. Tell me a little bit more about you, though. How do I know you're going to do what we say and you're going to show up to the meetings?
Because I'm hardworking, and I will make sure that I can like get time to meet with you to help me. And yeah.
That was good. Very well said. Beautiful. Adult. And I guess I'd ask your parents the same question. We don't work with that many kids. I don't want you guys to feel that, you know, I am scaring you because it's unfortunate how competitive everything is. But why do you think your daughter's a good fit to work with us?
I just, her love for the game and her desire to be the best is pretty strong. So I know that's what she wants. That's why we've been looking at every option and trying to give her every best possibility.
Very well said. And Mom, would you like to add anything else?
Yeah, I think just her dedication alone to the sport. And I mean, coaches from all over the state have like reached out to us. Like, you know, just not even like soccer coaches, but like trainers. Like I took her to a training on Monday and this guy pulled us aside and he is he's a university, the men's university coach. I want to say it's maybe like a junior college, but even he was like so impressed. Like just, I don't know. She's just so dedicated.
Okay. Well, when I look at students, I think of my own characteristics when I was her age. And, you know, I was sleeping with the ball. I wore the same soccer jersey every day until the letters fell off. And those are the kids I want to work with. And I'm not built for the other people because I'm going to talk to your daughter quite a bit. And that's why I was trying to scare her away. So here's the next step. Because of the nature of my excitement, but also because of the amount of students we work with, I have to have an answer from you guys by tomorrow. If tomorrow you say, hey, we have another question, you're more than welcome to email me back. But if I don't hear from you at all, I will follow up because now I'm invested. But if I don't hear from you, then I have to assume you're not interested and I have to give the spot to somebody else. You're in 7th grade. It's not to say there may not be a spot another time, but in full transparency, I have students wanting to work with us and I'm not going to take everybody. So I can't guarantee there will be a spot later on. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to email everything over. I know the options were slightly confusing. So just to review while I have you, in case you have any questions, is one option is $10K for life and we're with you forever. And you split that up into 6 payments and you never pay again. The other option is, so we split it up, it's $5,000 and we split it up into 3 payments. And then you talk to us as much as you want until the end of 8th grade. So starting freshman year. So I'll say through 8th grade, starting freshman year. And then the other option is you just call me on random occasions whenever you want to. And that's fine too. The starting freshman year. And then you're billed an additional 3, which will be automated and all that good stuff. And then those are the 2 options. It's up to you guys. This is obviously the easier one to start with, which I would very well recommend. But if you guys go, hey, we know this is what we want, then that's what this is for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Since I have you all, Mom and Dad, do you have any questions that come to the top of your head?
No, I don't. Just a lot to take in, really, I guess.
Yeah, Mom, anything?
No, just trying to see if we can financially swing it at this point.
That's really helpful to me. So if of the 2 options or 3 options, which one would you guys say is more realistic?
I'd probably have to start with the third one, but it's just even like, how does that work? You break it up into 3 payments?
3 payments, so 5,000 divided by 3. We do that in the first 3 months because if I'm not getting results in 3 months, then I'll refund you basically, actually, literally. Yeah. And so that's why we do the payments there. And then, of course, if you don't trust us to keep helping you, then I'm probably not the right person. But we just find that to be the best model. And so that's what we would do. So it's just, I'll write it out for you and I'll put it in the thing. And this is what I do for, so it's 1,666 3 times, basically. Okay. And then nothing happens again for 2 years, basically. Then we would readdress it. And that, for you guys, would be cheaper potentially because then the next one's 8. If you're going to start with me in a couple of years from now as a freshman, it's going to be 10. So that one might make the most sense regardless.
Okay.
Does that make sense too, Dad?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just, I mean, it's hard to to take in that we're in 7th grade and we're having these conversations, I guess.
That's such a good point. And I just want to tell you one story. So what happened, so if you had messaged me 2 weeks ago and said, hey, we want to talk to you, I would have said, yeah, call me in a year or two. But what keeps happening, which is kind of unfortunate, is I keep starting with my freshman girls, including Chloe. I keep starting with, and I'll give you her number, actually. I'll add that to your email because you could just ask them. They started a little bit later than you, and I think they'll be the first to tell you, like, they wish they started earlier. So this is Martell family. Actually, I'm going to give you this family real quick. Martell, I'll give you that. But it's to say that Draper. Okay, here it is. Okay, I emailed it to you. There, you'll see the female recommendation. There's a girl goalkeeper as well as the other one. So my point is that even if you don't work with me, it'd be. Did you lose me?
No.
Okay. Even if you don't work with me, it'd be great for you to text them. But to your father's question and point, I wasn't doing this. I was like, why do I need to talk to 7th graders? But I keep running to the same problem when I get them in freshman years. They don't have their videos correctly. They don't know what camps do. They don't have their list of schools. They haven't already texted coaches. They text the coach wrong. That's been my biggest issue, is they do the process without me and they're doing it wrong. And reversing it is very difficult for me. So that's why I'm here.
Well, the only reason why I really even considered it is I have a client who played college soccer. And ironically, she told me she wanted to go to North Carolina also. And she said when her parents took her to tour the school her junior year, when she met the coach, he told her they already had their roster 2 years prior to, she just missed.
Correct. And that's what I'm also here to tell you, especially for North Carolina. North Carolina is one of the best. So that's the deal. So good. Look, I'm glad you don't have to only hear from me. I'm not Chicken Little saying the sky's falling. It literally.
Yeah, no, I totally. Is. Yeah, she just told me this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, very good. Awesome.
Gets you thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have that exact same poster behind you right over there. I have the same one. Okay, perfect, guys. It was lovely talking to you. I do ask for an answer in the 24 hours. Even if you have a question or even if you're going to say no to me, just let me know because otherwise I'll follow up. And then we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Welcome, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
USL better than MLS X2? Is MLS Next better? Is USL better than MLS X2 for U14 boys? Goalkeeper for Wake FC? Yeah, probably is. I would probably stay there, but I would need to know more. Garrett, you're on all my lives. Can you call me? Do you know about Seattle United? Yes, it's a great club. It is a great club. I agree. Okay, all of my other lives broke down, so that answers that question. I can't use these. They just die. So that means I could go live here. So I think everything's not working. So I'm going to go